I had this idea, which I think would be perfect to start the song. I'm going to start with a kick, but what if I make the kick out of the word kick? Kick, kick, kick. Oof, 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 oof. See what we've got over here. That I'm going to take. That's cool. That's got like some actual acoustic kick vibes there. Yeah, I like that. This is the top. I've added a little bit of EQ just to remove the tone from it without it and with it. Then we have the sub. Adding some 100 hertz, dropping to 47 hertz just to get rid of some of that mud. Then we've got a multi-band transient shaper. This is basically just getting a little bit more punch. It's very subtle, just getting the tone and the shape of the kick that I wanted. Then we have the body. And I've just basically stripped all the low and highs out of it. So I've created this rack, which I'm going to put a link to in the description so that you can grab this if you want. It's using Waves Studio Rack and a bunch of Waves plugins. First up, we're using Waves Submarine. This is adding the sub bass of the kick. So this is without Submarine. And you can see around here, this is the 100 hertz section that we boosted, but we want something low down in the 55. So that's what Submarine does. Then there's EQ, which is boosting those lows and boosting a little bit of the highs, cutting some of the mids. So you can hear that starting to shape the sound a bit. Then we've got a compressor. Then we have another EQ, the Pultec EQ, which is again just shaping the sound a bit and adding some character. Then we've got some saturation using the Abbey Road saturator. That's bringing out a lot of the high frequency stuff in the click. Then there's another EQ. This one is to give a little bit of color and also a bit of shaping. And then finally, there's a limiter. And so the difference is this. So you can hear there's way more punch in that, way nicer sound. And it sounds a bit more like a kick. So I'm going to leave the link in the description if you guys want to grab that rack, and then you can make your own kick drum with the vocal sounds. So just remember, you're going to need to create some kind of top, a sub, and a body if you want to do that. Okay, let's make a snare. It would be nice to get a little bit of body, actually. Actually, I like that better. That. I think that's got a good body to it. This sound we're going to save for a snap because it's absolutely perfect for a snap. I'm going to make the snare out of these two. Just need to EQ this a bit. Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's a good starting point. Okay, so let's get some bass down then. I'm going to record a couple of quick sounds and then pull them into Serum. Bzz, bzz, bow, boom. Let's see if we can come up with some cool bass sounds. All right, I like the sound of this, so we're going to go with that just because I don't want to spend too much time working on this and playing around with it. I'm going to use Waves Ovox to create a cool pattern for the intro. So I've already brought up a preset that I like, which is like a guitar stutter. Oh. Throw these headphones on so that I don't have audio coming out of the speakers back into the microphone. Yep, I'm liking it. I am liking it. All right, on to the next sound. Forever chasing time, let's go into our mind. Forever into our mind. I like it. That's good. We're keeping it. Time to fix this mess. Let's just throw Waves tuner on here. Forever chasing time. Yeah, cool. I'm liking that. That sounds fantastic. Let's go with those notes. I'm absolutely not going to go all out and try and turn this into a releasable song. But we will add a little bit more to polish it up a bit. I'm going to use another vocal synth and we're going to create a riser. Ooh. That's a little bit spicy, isn't it? Let's go with that. Okay, so this is Sound Shifter, also a Waves plugin. I always use this one for pitch shift just because it works. I've never really tried using anything else. This one works good, so this is what I use. That's a cool intro. Sticking with that now. I'm gonna add some of this snare in. Okay, so I've organized this project a little bit and also added a few more instruments. So created a sub by bringing a small clip of the vocals into Serum and using that as a wavetable. So this is the sub that we've got. Then there's another bass I've created for the drop. And this was using the same sound. I think the actual sound that I used for that, I've got it over here somewhere. Here, these are the sounds that were used for all of these synths. Boom, boom, boom. And that was me just making noises again. Boom, boom. Took that, dragged that into Serum. So without the filter, this is what we've got. I've given it 3 voices to give it a bit more width. Added a second oscillator and I'm using FM from B to give a more of a gritty sound. B oscillator is also that same snippet of sound. I've just got a different section of the wavetable that I'm using for that. Then I've added the filter, which is the LB12 with movement coming from this LFO. Then the effects section. So we've got an EQ, changing the tone again with a bit of modulation happening on the frequency from LFO1. Then we've got the distortion. Then we've got hyper dimension. And then the compressor. Then I've got Studio Rack, which is creating a bit of tone and some grit. And I'll also put the link for this rack in the description if you guys want to use this. So this is going to add loads of grit and energy to things like guitars, lead synths, anything that kind of has that warm drive kind of sound. Then we've got Vocal Bass 2, which is actually following the sub. The same preset in Serum that I've created, just slightly tweaked. And then we've got the lead. So this lead is again the same thing, slightly tweaked. And then when you put all of that together, this is what we get. guys can see, you can create some awesome stuff just using vocals alone. And if you were to use other samples and instruments along with the vocals and the vocal plugins, you could create some very unique music. So I'm going to leave the links for the Ovox plugin by Waves and the studio racks that I use to create the kick and some of the other sounds in the description, along with a link for this awesome microphone stand that you guys have seen me using throughout this video. So if you want to grab this stand, the link will be down in the description. You can get it from Fulame, and the plugins that I use are from Waves. If you use those links, they also help out the channel a lot, guys. So thank you for that if you do. So that's it for now. Until next time.